Experience a membership that backs your business journey with American Express Business Platinum. When you pay with membership rewards points for all or part of an eligible flight booked with a qualifying airline through Amex Travel, you can get 35% of those points back, up to 1 million points back per calendar year. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
This episode is brought to you by Perfect Bistro Cat Food. Cats, this ad is for you. Has your human ever called you picky, persnickety, choosy? If so, Perfect Bistro Cat Food is for you. With ingredients like wild-caught tuna and pasture-raised lamb, tantalizing textures, and delectable flavors that meet even the most discerning cat standards. You're not picky, you're just perfectionists. Perfect Bistro, mealtime perfection for every cat. Have your human visit perfectbistro.com.
Live from New York. It's a show that's happy that Wemby is not suspended or fined.
Well, I think Shams is wrong on that, by the way.
I'm surprised he's not getting
It's an automatic $2,000 fine.
Well,
Shams has been
which is really very low.
Joker got 50 for just running up on McDaniels.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Shams directionally is correct all the time. Some of the details, a little fuzzy on some of the tweets.
Whoa, it's just
at times. Woj's got enough problems on his hands trying to get St. Bonaventure out the money.
First hour, first things first. Today, Wemby ejected, Spurs lose.
That's bad, bro.
I'm not going to defend
There we go.
Okay.
In 12 minutes, I'm going to get you to defend it.
There's no defending it.
The way that he just started the pre-show?
There is. I'm going to share context.
Thank
you.
But it's not defensible.
Knicks are younger.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a grandfather.
Exactly right.
How dare you?
Yeah, you softened up.
Right. That's even.
Meanwhile, Giants Cowboys Sunday Night Football Week 1 announces Dak already facing a must-win.
This is the dumbest thing.
This is true.
Well, if you say must-win, then it makes.
You can say no, but it's a good question. And finally, is tonight's LeBron's last game in a Laker uniform? End of the LeBron era in Los Angeles?
He should go for 60 like Kobe.
Well, it's not going to be the last game.
Go get your 60, LeBron.
Just shoot 60.
They're going to lose, so go get 60.
All-time leading scorer in NBA history in elimination games. LeBron James on a points per game basis, like 33.5. This is an elimination game.
It also
that extends
leader
to the
in
opposite.
just about everything.
He's in both directions. When facing, they're two separate stats.
Gotcha.
When trying to eliminate opponents and when facing.
I like that one a little bit better.
This is backs up against the wall.
Your back's not up against the wall here.
This is
you
not.
Got
But this
like
counts if
a
it's
foot out the door.
But this would be Game 6 down 3-2, or Game 7 would count in this.
That would be good.
This is like feet hanging out of the window.
Also,
like
in theory, it could be the last game of LeBron's career, and it's a 10:40 tip off on Amazon
No one
Prime.
believes that.
I mean,
is it 10:40?
10:40 tip Amazon Prime.
I'm gonna have to hit TGIF today just to stay awake. Save me a brownie obsession.
Brew is really.
TGIF. That's how I stay awake.
I know.
I go to the bar and watch
brownie
the game.
obsession.
TGI Fridays. Yeah.
We start in San Antonio, second quarter. Wemby comes down the rebound, elbows Nas Reed, flagrant 2. No suspension, no fine. Series tied 2-2. Here's Spurs coach Mitch Johnson, who didn't disapprove.
I just think that the amount of physicality that people play with him, at some level you have to protect yourself. Every single play on every single part of the floor, people are trying to impose their physicality on him. I get it. We get it. That's part of the game. But at some stage, he's gotten chucked. He's gotten pushed down in transition, running freely, all the stuff. He doesn't complain one time. We don't complain because we're just going to play. We don't really give a excuse my language. But at some stage, he should be protected. And if not, he's going to have to protect himself. And unfortunately, stuff like that happens.
Reaction.
Well, look, that's a coach protecting his player. I'm not surprised at all about that. I actually thought, Nick, before it came down that he won't be suspended, which we're all glad about. Everybody wants to see the best players play. Shocked that he's not fined. Maybe they're just like, look, he essentially missed 2.5 quarters of the game. I guess that's enough. But I thought Mitch Johnson I thought it could actually backfire on him.
What?
Right? Because I thought the
totally
league might be like,
oh, so you're saying
right? That was okay,
Yeah.
and then suspending, or that now this still could happen. The refs going forward in these next 2 or 3 games could be like, okay, you want to show us up, we'll show you up. So we'll see how it plays out. But I thought that was essentially a coach defending this player, which obviously coaches do. I would be shocked if behind the scenes he and maybe even Popovich are like, hey, you got to keep your cool. You can't do that. As far as this play, as someone who picked the Spurs to win the series and the championship, I was hoping, like when they were reviewing it, I was like, I'm hoping that, because Naz Reid was grabbing his leg under the basket when they're in position for the rebound. And then when Wemby got the rebound, Jaden McDaniels was holding his arm and stuff like that. So I was hoping they were going to say, okay, foul on McDaniels. And we see why he responded, but flagrant one. Flagrant one. And he'd be able to play. But I think what buried him and got him ejected was when you slow it down. You're right. You see, like, he's clearly like, I'm about to take him out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I'm tired of this. And got him. Thankfully, he didn't hit him in the wrong pipe or wrong place. Right.
Yeah.
Or even in the face, orbital bone, nose, whatever. And then he might have been ejected. I mean, you don't want to see Naz Reid get hurt.
But then he
may have even been suspended if Reid was hurt. But yeah, because even De'Aaron Fox said, you're all taught to kind of chin up with the ball. Sure. If he had just kind of, done it like 100%. I'm clearing space, I'm not looking, I don't know who's around me.
He clocked him and then clocked him.
So I'll end it with this. This is a good lesson for him to learn early in his career, early in this postseason to some degree. Obviously, they got to win 2 of the next 3, but it's a good lesson for him to learn so he doesn't do anything like that going forward.
It's a footnote or it's a huge story. Just like Draymond slapping LeBron. If they win the series, nobody cares that he got suspended for a game. If they lose this series, then this is the guy who could be the best player in the world, striving for that, maybe the face of the league, losing his cool, getting thrown out of a game early, arguably costing his team the game. We don't know how it would have played out, but they're better with Wemby than without him. And maybe costing them a chance at a championship. Like, we got to see how these next few games play out. I care deeply about track record on this stuff. Wemby does not have a track record as a dirty player, which is why I can mentally say dirty play, not dirty player.
Absolutely.
Now, he is now by the refs and by the audience watched, he's on a probationary period to maintain non-dirty player status because this was wildly dirty. This was not accidental. This was not in the gray area. This was a frustrated young player who felt like he wasn't getting a good enough whistle. And, Brew, to your point, I was more annoyed is too weak and galled is too strong, whatever the word in between that is, put off by the coach's response and by Wemby on the bench than almost anything else. Because Wemby on the bench afterwards pretending he doesn't know a flagrant 2 gets you ejected.
Can I ask you a question about that? Because I know that's been the chatter. He doesn't know he's being filmed here. I think he can assume.
That's my question, Nick.
But he's not making a demonstrative.
If he said that this still wouldn't prove it, but if he said that to the media or something, then maybe you think, okay, he's trying to save face. I don't know why you would say. Now I don't know. He might be making it up, but I don't know why you would say that to a teammate.
Because you're right. I can't prove it, and I don't know for certain. But I do think most superstar NBA players assume there's a camera on me. It's why every time LeBron's ever talked to a player on or off the court after the game, he covers his mouth like this. I also, let me just ask this honest question, and then I'll move on to my other point. Do you actually think Victor Wembanyama does not know that a flagrant 2 means you're ejected? The guy who studied the rule book for the skills competition as a rookie? The guy who is...
I think it's possible. On the board that he got flagrant 1 and flagrant 2 juxtaposed.
Okay, listen.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm being...
I wasn't as bothered by it.
I just thought it was... I thought it was performative, and maybe I'm having my own opinion impacted by someone else. But Brian Windhorst, who knows Wendy knows Wemby better than anybody covering this league, had this exact same opinion, which was it was performative, pretending he didn't know it. And Mitch Johnson, we played a long part of his press conference. What we didn't play was him at the beginning saying, "Oh, I definitely don't think it was intentional," leading into him giving a minute-long explanation as to why it's totally okay if it's intentional because he's getting beat up. And he's like, we don't whine, but here's a minute of me whining about the physicality of this series. And what I would say is this series has been very physical on both sides. Wemby, any physically imposing player, we talked about LeBron not getting a great whistle. Refs are going to allow more things in different directions. But 20 minutes before this play, Rudy Gobert had a dunk. We'll see it on the replay. Wemby slaps him in the face. They don't even review it. Right across the face, they don't even review it. So, and by the way, I don't think that's a flagrant foul. I don't think but my point is, there is physicality going on both sides of this series, and it is no justification for what Wemby did. And he is lucky, Wilds, not to be suspended. I'm glad he's not suspended.
I feel like there would be zero chance he would get suspended.
Ron Artest got 7 games.
Ron Artest.
And Artest was Artest just happened. I don't say happened to see him, but that wasn't in the midst of
he's a primary character in one of the worst NBA moments of the century.
Of course.
Of course it's different.
But it's also 7 games.
And he's had
and 6, so it was 6 playoff games. So again, there is a big delta between 0 games, $0 fine, and 7 games. Brew, did you think it was on? Again,
it was
I didn't want him to be suspended.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But it was. I think he should right now feel lucky that he was not suspended. It was absolutely on the board. And do you think that if Naz Reid had done that to Wemby, he would be suspended? Because I think so.
Probably.
Yeah, and so that's where it's that is if the player names are removed and you just see the silhouettes of the action, that's a potentially suspendable offense.
Oh, absolutely.
And so when I say he's lucky not to have been suspended, I'm saying it was on the board. I was
actually a little bit surprised that they ejected him just because, big playoff game, potential face of the league. Yeah. And I credit the NBA for doing that, not letting that influence
Drew, can I just flip the other side of this?
Yep.
Any benefits to the Spurs and Wemby?
I mean, look, we don't know if they would have won. They were trailing by 2 when he went out. Obviously, you would rather go up 3-1. I do think he's going to come out tonight or tomorrow and just try to have a huge game. Doesn't mean he will, but I think that's going to be his goal. 2-2, it's tough. I mean, I still think they'll win the series, but I don't know that there's a benefit.
I was more trying to pry you to see if there was any benefits. I'm like, the whole team's intensity will ratchet up. Maybe this is the first kind of super aggressive move we've seen from Wemby. Do the Wolves, is it like basically a high fastball? Where it's like, looks like we're not crowding the plate anymore on this pitcher.
Yeah, I think we're just going to have to see. I would have rather won that game.
Yeah, be up 3-1.
Of course.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Because I feel like that if Luka were not injured and it's game 4 of Thunder Lakers and early second quarter, Luka loses his mind on a ref and gets thrown out, it is immaturity, outrageous, unforgivable, cost yourself a team in a playoff game.
Yeah.
And you seem to not only not be there, but to be so far on the other side of not that bad.
No, it's certainly I want Naz Reid to be healthy and everyone to participate and to their maximum ability. That being said, there is a part of me that has seen Wemby come into the league and has been ready for on a path towards the NBA since he was 14 or 15, working out with Rudy Gobert, you know, playing chess in the park and going to the monastery and doing everything perfectly, having a little bit of like, an element of wild card to his game, I don't think is necessarily the worst thing in the world.
So you think this could deter Minnesota? I mean, that's what some people have said. Jay Williams on ESPN was even talking about how Shaq did that to him once.
I mean, and we've
he
seen
stopped
it.
going down there to double.
That's the thing. I view it more like a pitcher with a fastball where it's like, don't crowd the plate on this pitcher. Nice guy, Cy Young Award winner. He doesn't like you taking your time in the batter's box or you'll wear one. I know it's cross sport, but I like a little bit of
a little edge.
Edge.
Look,
and I haven't seen that
many
from
greats do that. We've seen Shaq. I mentioned Shaq going at players. Abdul-Jabbar, punch Kent Vince. Like this happens.
No, that's why I listen. That's why I'm not killing it. Like I think it was a dirty play. I don't think he's a dirty player.
I don't even feel like it was I feel like it was
a dangerous play.
Yeah, I almost take it out of the realm of play. It was like punching somebody.
Yes.
Now you would get suspended for that, but It wasn't in the field.
You lost your temper.
Yeah, he lost his cool.
I just think that historically, if you're supposed to be maybe the best player in the league, I can't remember since I've been on TV, best player in the league level guy, the last time I remember that kicked out of a playoff game that was in the balance was when Steph's mouthpiece threw his mouthpiece.
Yeah.
And that was a big deal.
Can I give you my other one caveat? And this is a cousin to.
Kill us.
This is a cousin to your when he got concussed. And it's like, you know what? Maybe if every other player falls, if you're not 7'5".
Oh, it would have just been in the ribs? If he hits it in the ribs,
if he's not
every other guy who elbows.
Yes, but he knows how tall he is.
It hits you in your chest. I know, but it's just.
No, but that's he's
had that growing every day though. No, he grows every 6 months. You can't get a measurement on the guy. All right, Game 5 is tomorrow in San Antonio.
A year ago, that would have been in his chest.
Exactly right. Head to Philadelphia, which felt like New York. Knicks tied a playoff record by hitting 11 threes in the first quarter. Cruised to victory in a 30-point win and complete the sweep. Knicks have now won 7 straight playoff games since being on death's door. Josh Hart almost sounded disappointed in the Philly crowd. Take a listen.
Nah, man, because everybody was begging for Philly to not sell the tickets and all that stuff. So, man, I used to think Philly was a sports town. I don't know if it is anymore.
He went to Villanova, too.
Oh, that's the other context of it.
Yeah,
You can put that together. Are you surprised that the Knicks swept the Sixers?
I am surprised. I mean, after the way Philly looked against Boston, we thought they were going to win the series.
Thank you, Embiid, for saying we. I'm the only one taking any shrapnel on this. Thank you, bro.
Embiid played 3 of the 4 games. And so.
If only he'd played all 4, my prediction would have sounded.
And to beat, they whipped them. Averaged 22 points a game of victory. Mm-hmm. The Knicks look like they can win the championship. I'm not predicting it, but they played San Antonio well. We're 2-1 against them. We'll see if they were to face OKC or Minnesota. But, I mean, they are playing fantastic. And, look, Mike Brown, it is like we know he went to Golden State, and he has brought some of those offensive principles to the Knicks, and especially the last 2-3 weeks, whatever it's been, where Jalen Brunson is running off screens, moving a little more off the ball, like a la Steph Curry. Karl Anthony Towns is at the top of the key or the elbow, kind of making things happen with his pass. He averaged 7.5 assists in this series. That led the team, a la Draymond Green.
Yes.
So credit Mike Brown, and they've kept their defensive intensity. Philly shot 31% from 3 in the series. No Philadelphia player averaged 20 points a game.
Yep, that's wild.
They got it going on both ends of the floor. And they really could win the championship. Again, not predicting it, but I now think they will beat Detroit. I just don't know that, assuming they continue to play like this. Detroit, I don't think, has the offense to play with them. And this new style of play they're doing on the offensive end, I think, can handle Detroit's physical defense. So we'll still see, but.
Did you change your pick just then in the middle of that take?
No, I mean, I'm just being, being honest.
He's just change your.
No, he's picking Detroit.
When they get to the Detroit's got to take care of Cleveland first.
Let me translate it. Brew is still picking Detroit, analysis. But he thinks the Knicks are better.
And no, he said the Knicks will beat Detroit.
He said I'm leaning that.
Right now, I feel that. Well, I can make my pick. I changed my pick before this series. I said I think Philly's gonna win, but I had the Knicks going to the
So the point cat thing is real. I know he's not really playing point guard, but it's the most assists he's ever had in a 4-game stretch. It's the most assists he's ever had in a 7-game stretch since they lost Game 3 to Atlanta. They've played 7 games. He has 56 assists in those 7 games. That's 8 a game. That's 8 assists a game.
That's more than about 3 or 4 players in the league.
Right. His previous high of any 7-game stretch of his career was 40, and he has 56. And here is to your point, Brew, about how dangerous the Knicks are. Through 10 games of the playoffs, no one has bludgeoned opponents the way they have. And 3 of those other 4 teams won the championship. 2017 Warriors, 87 Lakers, 71 Bucks with Kareem, the only one that didn't. Melo's conference finalist, Denver Nuggets. I mean, because they're 8-2. Their 2 losses are by a combined 2 points. Their 8 wins are by a combined 196 points.
The Sixers were okay. The Sixers eliminated the Celtics.
Yeah, they did.
And then
they
didn't look like they were on the Knicks level.
And the Hawks were up 2-1, and then they blew them out. Sorry,
would have given them more of a series.
Well, anybody would have given them more of a series.
I mean, maybe they're just playing that well. They would have routed the Celtics.
Their point per game differential is the best in a 7-game span in playoff history.
On the 7-game winning streak. Yeah. It's the
best team ever, basically.
No, they are
beating teams like they're the best team ever.
On the best, from a blowout standpoint, the best run of any team in playoff history. That is true.
They're the best team ever. They are.
So are you saying they're going to win it?
Well, they're the best team ever. Yeah, they will win a historical match. They'll beat the 96 Bulls. Head out to L.A. where we thought the Lakers could ride some home court advantage and some momentum, put up a fight against OKC. We thought wrong. 23-point Thunder win. Here's J.J. Redick.
3rd straight game. We're right there after 2.5 quarters. We tried different lineups, tried different coverages, still lost those minutes. We've got to be better. But I'm not giving up on the series, and we're going to go try to win on Monday. We're going to try to extend the series, and we're going to try to take this thing back to OKC.
Okay. Won by 18 or more each of their first 3 games of the series. It's the Thunder.
We just got 2 historic teams
on
a collision course.
That's exactly right. Does this series say more about the Thunder or the Lakers?
The Thunder. OKC has 3 guys averaging 20, 3 more guys averaging 10, and just for the hell of it, 3 more averaging 5. They've got 9 guys and this graphic is the series. When one team's best player is off the court, they get annihilated. When the other team's best player is off the court, they annihilate the opponent. Now, it's not like when LeBron's on the court, the Lakers are doing great. But the point is, the Lakers, hang a little with LeBron out there and just absolutely collapse without him. And the Thunder, it's like second best players wearing, purple jackets, hanging on the sideline. Best player can sit. A.J. Mitchell, 2nd-round pick, no problem.
He looks great.
And how about this? Shea, A.J., and Caruso are 9 for 35 from 3, which is just under 25%, just over, pardon me. The rest of the team's 35 of 69, which is over 50%. Jared McCain is 9 of 11 from 3. As a team, they're shooting 42%. And Brew, every single person they put in the game is a plus defender. It's what Danny's been saying is correct. It's a plus defender, and they just keep it rolling. And that, to me, is the story. It's not about the Lakers because the Lakers don't have their best player, and the Thunder, I think, would do this.
Even if they had him.
Well, I mean, maybe.
They might get one
But
game.
I was going to say, I think if any team in the league, except for maybe San Antonio, played the Thunder without their best player, when the Thunder are at peak motivation in the playoffs, it's going to get ugly, and that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers, this is not surprising. I mean, we knew they
we
just
both
don't
picked
have enough.
Thunder in 5. Is that right? That we thought Lakers would get one of these?
Yeah, I don't know if I don't even know if I don't remember making. It had to be 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I don't remember if we made an exact.
Maybe we did
prediction.
5 to be.
But they almost look, and this is no disrespect to any of their great players.
That means this is going to be one of the most disrespectful things you've ever heard.
No, they are like a machine. They almost look like an assembly line. Like, it doesn't matter who's out there.
Correct.
And they got a bunch of players that are similar size, defend the heck out of the ball, shoot the 3, and we can just roll them out there and they're all going to have the same result. A lesson for basketball people, and I'll take one from the Knicks. From the Knicks, 5-man, I always say 5-man basketball. They're playing 5-man basketball. It's not just Jalen create for himself and everybody else anymore. Most teams in the NBA play 1 or 2-man basketball. They are playing 5-man basketball. They're running away with things. The Thunder are just like depth is now becoming something huge. And I think that usually in the playoffs you might go 8 or 9 deep.
They can go
now
12.
Just keep. And the Spurs are similar in that they can go very deep. And so this is a lesson too that you don't judge a team just by how many superstars they have.
Especially not in
They
today's
got
NBA.
one, and they are. People think one of the all-time great teams, assuming they finish
By the way,
this run
the
out.
Knicks, Spurs, Thunder, Pistons, Timberwolves. 1 superstar.
I'll have 1. But these are very good teams. And they could be, the Lakers got, now not in this series, but they got 2.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
And you're right. With Luka, it's not looking
5
good.
games, maybe.
Facing a week 1 must-win. That's next on FS1, the Fox Sports Channel. It's Sirius XM.
LinkedIn's AI-powered job search can help you find the most relevant roles based on your goals and experience. It cannot help you find something to talk about in the elevator.
So, ride any dragons this weekend?
It can help you find your next job just by describing it in your own words. It cannot stop your coworker from describing their dreams.
So I was flying, right?
And while we can't help you advance in the office foosball tournament, LinkedIn can help you advance in your career. LinkedIn is the network that works for you.
We got an announcement this morning. Week 1, a Sunday night football, September 13th on NBC, Cowboys at Giants. This is the 8th time in the last 15 years this matchup opened up their season. It's never too early for this question. In fact, it can be too late, but it's never too early.
Disagree.
Is this a must-win game for the Cowboys?
Absolutely.
Excellent answer.
It really is. It sounds ridiculous.
Yes.
Week 1 must win. Here's why. Number 1, division opponent.
Yeah.
Division opponent that has a new ballyhooed head coach.
He is ballyhooed.
Supposed to maybe challenge you for the division crown. So that's number 1. Number 2, great offseason for the Cowboys, right? It looks like George Pickens is going to play nice and be good. And so we should have plenty of time to get the offense ready. A lot of defensive additions. All looks well. Thirdly, schedule. Their schedule is monstrous. Now, we already think they're going to have a tough division. Philly, the Giants are improved. The Commanders could be improved. They got the NFC West.
The road games are brutal.
Yeah, and just the NFC West is Seattle, San Francisco, and the Rams.
Yeah.
And then they have the AFC South, so you got Houston and Jacksonville. And then the games that are outside the division schedule, they got the Ravens, the Packers, and the Buccaneers.
Can I throw one
they got
too?
a monster
Since this has
schedule.
been announced, the Ravens game is an international game.
Brazil, right.
So that's
not
not
even
actually
on
a
there.
home.
No, it's on there, but it's not a home game.
It's not a true home game.
It counts as a home
Oh, I
game.
see.
So it's more of a neutral site game,
right,
so it's not going to be a
right.
Jerry World.
Yeah. Did you
So
want
that's
No,
why
that's
it's a
it.
must-win.
It's
Okay.
you got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat.
I agree with that.
I know that's not.
This is a great segment for people watching. It's a terrible segment if you're walking through an airport, though.
No, it's not.
People make
I
fun
stop
of us.
immediately.
People are going to make fun of us.
I'd be like,
this
honey.
is going to get screenshotted and sent. This is going to be all over Twitter. Nobody's going to hear the context that it's not must win. It's must win. It's not that. And they're going to be like, this is what they're doing.
No,
in
you don't
middle
understand.
Of May, talking about
it's
must
not
win
literal
Cowboys.
must win.
I understand, but it doesn't say that.
Everybody's not
I'm
going
saying
to.
you're
Nick
walking
is right
through
about
JFK.
that.
You see this? You're like, these dopes.
Right.
You know
You're
what?
sitting
The
there
person
having
thinks
a
immediately
sandwich
no, and then
before you're getting on your plane,
Yeah.
and you don't hear it.
Exactly.
You just see
need to see it.
Must win.
Must win, exactly.
For the Cowboys.
So throw the
probably.
cap
You know what
football
they say?
season.
Probably.
Listen. All right, but in the spirit of playing along with the game, I agree with Brew, but for a different reason. I agree with Brew because of something else that's on the screen. Dak has just utterly owned the Giants.
Thank you.
14-1 since his second year in the league against a divisional opponent. If John Harbaugh all of a sudden changes that, it is a real signal to the team, to the ownership, and to the players. You know, none of the players on the Giants have beaten Dak more than once. There's only a handful of them who have beaten him once. And I guess maybe there's a couple that beat him more than once on a different team, but not with the Giants. And so I think that there is really something to be said for holding over on a team. I will give credit where it is due. I think Mahomes is 14-2 against the Broncos in his career, but I think before Sean Payton got there, it was like 12-0. I think again, fuzzy math on Peyton's exact record, but it was 11-1 or something, and then Peyton got there, and all of a sudden, that's a real tough game a couple times a year for the Chiefs, and I think it does signal something when the new coach comes in and says this is going to be different. It's kind of like what Gerard Mayo did with you in the Jets, but the opposite. Like we always beat the Jets, and then.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, turns out now we can't.
And so that, I do think there is a psychological piece of that. Like, Dak's record in the division is crazy. It's an all-time great record against divisional opponents, none more so than against the Giants. And I also think there is a chance that we look back at the Cowboys-Giants matchups this year as a top 5 defense against top 5 offense. I know that would be a crazy jump for the Giants because their numbers defensively last year were awful, but they have such great talent on that side of the ball. You add in Arvell Reese, it doesn't look like they're trading Thibodeau. Abdul Carter kind of lives up to more of his draft stock. All of that. Top 5 maybe is a little strong for them, but a much improved defense against what we expect will be a great offense.
How about the Cowboys defense?
That should be.
I need to see it. Last year, week 2, it was that 40-37 game where Russell Wilson was playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
If they win a shootout, bad news.
I agree.
I don't want if Jackson Dart starts to lighten up the Cowboys. Right. Bad news. All right, now we're going to talk about the champs. The Seahawks will open their season on the 11th. We know that some of their home opponents are already slated for week 1. So the champs are facing either the Cardinals, the Chargers, the Patriots, the Bears,
or the Chiefs. And the reason we know that is week 1, Cowboys and Giants are playing each other, and in the division, the Niners and the Rams are playing each other, so we can take them off the list.
Who do you want to see the Seahawks open up against? Cardinals, Chargers, Patriots, Bears, Chiefs. You want me to answer, or do you think the Patriots? Unfortunately, this is bad for me. It's a good trick by you.
It is totally a trick.
That was an excellent job by you. I just realized it. I just stepped in. It's like the bear thing is about to clamp my ankle, and I'm right here. I'm like, oh, that's a great trick. Here's the truth. Gosh darn it. The Cardinals are an obvious no.
Right.
No one wants to see the Cardinals. The next team you can probably cross off because it was so uncompetitive and because I think it would be hard to run a promo for the beginning of the NFL season. Hey, remember that Super Bowl that was over in 5 minutes? Want to see if the scandal-ridden Patriots can make it a game in the first quarter, tune in. I don't think it's going to be us. I hate to say it. I think I'm crossing us off. I hate to say it's probably be the Chargers, the Bears, or the Chiefs, but even the Chiefs,
I think that the NFL,
for the Chiefs.
I don't think the NFL puts its finger on the scale on competitive balance. They try not to. I do think the whole point, they do put their finger on the scale. Some putting their finger on their scale. It's their business of best ratings possible.
Right.
And the only way Seahawks-Chiefs, whichever week of the year it is played in, is not the game of the week, is if Patrick Mahomes is not playing in it. And the week that I would say, even though I believe Patrick Mahomes is going to be dancing at Travis Kelce's wedding and starting in week 1, the week that he is most questionable is week 1 of the season.
Yep.
So I think that they wouldn't burn that matchup, where you might not see Patrick. So I think he is, I think that's why if Patrick had not torn his ACL, I think this would be the week 1 matchup.
Yep.
I think it would make perfect sense. The defending champ against
the
stumbled dynasty.
Yeah. Stumbled dynasty. Yikes, he's really saying it.
Stumbled. Dynasty, but they stumbled. That's
Coming off, I'll give him a 7th win if Mahomes was healthy. Coming off a 7th.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's something like exactly right. And so I want it to be the Pats, but I think Wilds is right. So it's just going to be Caleb, right?
Yeah, I was thinking I would assuming Mahomes is healthy, I would like it to be Kansas City.
If you want to gamble with that,
is for
it would be awesome.
That's because I just want to see the Chiefs and kind of a measuring stick. Like, where are they at? Where's Mahomes at? Where are they at? Has nothing to do with Seattle other than them being defending champs. From Seattle's perspective, I guess I'd want to see them play the Bears too. But again, I'm more interested in seeing what the Bears look like. I think it'll be the Bears because Caleb, who a lot of people think could lead the Bears to the Super Bowl this year against the defending champion, I think that's what it'll be.
I agree.
Go ahead.
I assume it's going to be the Bears, and I think that will be a massive wake-up call for the Bears. Or maybe Caleb will surprise us. But I assume that Seattle will do to Caleb exactly what Seattle did to lots of teams, not just Drake May, outside of the Rams, and I think that one would get ugly.
If Caleb cooks them, you gonna be all right?
That would if Caleb lights up that Seattle defense, that will be like losing the Super Bowl again.
Can I say something that I know it's hard for us to wrap our minds around? Whoever Seattle plays in week 1 is not playing the Super Bowl defense. It's playing a totally new team. They lost guys. They lost coaches. It's a new team. And so, as much as I would love to, if Caleb cooks them, be like, see, Caleb, Drake, look at the last 2 games. It's totally different teams.
You will put your hand on the Bible and say you won't put that full screen up last 2 games?
Well, I can't say that.
You don't.
I got a Bible. We can do that right now.
That's right. I promise I won't put up last 2 games against the Seahawks defense at any point. 0 chance.
God.
All right. Gave 3 Harden, 19 points, 7 in the last 90 seconds. Danny stopped his golf trip to keep texting us about it. Cavs win, Harden bounce back game, but he's not listening to / unaware of the chatter surrounding his playoff duds. Take a listen.
You've been in the league for a long time. How did you silence the chatter tonight and have this sort of response in Game 3?
What chatter? What chatter?
That's exactly the answer to the question. What chatter?
I play basketball, and whatever this team needs me to do, I'm gonna go out there and do it.
Actually, we have the stats here. Look at it. Fall apart when the pressure rises. Your numbers.
She had said that.
You're horrible. Did Harden silence?
No.
Well,
no, because the chatter is not that James Harden doesn't play well in the playoffs. Because he has plenty of great games in the playoffs. Now, his numbers do drop slightly.
But it's not that he's bad every single playoff.
Right. He has huge games. I'll give you a prime example. The chatter is that in the biggest games, the most important games, he doesn't deliver. And I'm going to give you a quick example. Last year, when he's with the Clippers, game 1 against Denver, game 1, 32 points, 11 assists.
Yeah.
Game 7 against Denver, same Denver team, 7 points, 2 of 8 shooting. One of the things that's frustrated me the most about Harden in these big games is he just gets passive. Like, he doesn't shoot a lot. Like, who's one of the great scorers of all time. 2023, game 1 against Boston. He was with Philly at this time. 45 points.
I remember we were talking, we were here talking.
Doing that show,
No
right?
Embiid, right?
Yeah, correct.
Game 7, 9 points. 3 of 11 field goals. 11 field goals. Like, you scored 40 twice in the series, and you taking 11 shots. So that's what it is. That's what he has to do to silence it.
Yeah, I mean, so that is exactly correct. It is not that Harden is never excellent in the postseason. It's that he is rarely excellent when you most need his excellence. And he has a bunch of, and I went back through it today and looked at it, but he's been in the playoffs so many times, you couldn't correlate, I didn't want to spend the time showing all of them. A lot of down 2-0, down 3-0, big games. And by the way, he was awesome at the end of this game. He was fine. I mean, you said he had 7 points in the final 90 seconds. He finished with 19 and 8. So, the story for the Cavs this game was Donovan Mitchell, being what Donovan Mitchell had been his whole Utah career in the postseason, which was a consistent 30-point-a-game guy. When Donovan Mitchell left Utah, he was top 4 NBA history in playoff points per game. And he's never been to a conference finals, so that overshadows it a bit. But Donovan was the bigger story in this game. But it would not surprise me at all if Harden has a better game this series than this one. The problem for Cleveland is, and I think the guys in the locker room likely feel the same way, is if they claw themselves all the way back into this and they are down 3-2 going into a home game 6, are we more likely to get a 30-point game or a 3-made basket game? Right. And I think his record speaks for itself there. I also want to add one other thing, KW. I put that in the same bucket as Wemby saying, who, me, ejected? Like the chatter. What chatter? I just don't buy that's fine. I'm not even saying it's the wrong thing, but I don't. Sometimes guys, there's like narratives going on or like something's big online, and guys get asked about it, and they genuinely seem surprised by it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what that was. I don't think James Harden's unaware that there is a large school of basically everyone in the basketball media except for Danny that thinks in the postseason he is a net negative on his team.
I'm sure he knows that as well. That's the other thing. It's not just like a narrative. He must know this about himself. He knows he's gone home in big moments. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not rather than.
I think he's very aware of the narrative, and I think his coping mechanism is to ignore it. Don't acknowledge it. I think that's what he probably does. Yeah. I got to go out there and like LeBron when he would go 0 dark.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All that, not watch anything.
He wouldn't.
Can I ask you a quick question? We have 40 seconds because you earlier when we were talking about the Eastern Conference, are you at all worried about Detroit here? I am not. You seemed a little apprehensive.
No, I think they'll win the series, but it might be a 7-game. It might be like Toronto, where it's a home-and-home series.
Well, yeah, I mean,
because Cleveland has more offensive talent. But I think I feel comfortable that Detroit will win it. But obviously the night is huge.
Cleveland also should be incredibly rested. Their playoffs have not started.
Oh yeah, that's a great one. Coming up next, it's tonight the end of the LeBron Lakers era. My goodness, felt like it was just yesterday.
Could AI help you do more of what you love? Workday is the AI platform for HR and finance that actually knows your business. We help you handle the have-to-dos so you can focus on the can't-wait-to-dos. It's a new Workday.
Live from New York, it's a show that's on Giannis watch as well. It's not in the show today, but Sham says that the Bucks are listening to offers.
Well, yeah, now I think they just had to see the lottery results, make sure they didn't move into the top 4.
Yep.
And see how that could change things. They stayed where they were supposed to be, and now.
What if the Spurs beat OKC? Or even Minnesota beats them, but the Spurs.
I don't think OKC's
makes
doing
any move.
No.
I think awesome.
It'd be interesting. I mean, if the Spurs, we could talk about.
Flip side is what if Minnesota beats San Antonio or OKC annihilates San Antonio? Does San Antonio?
I wouldn't. They're so young. You can justify it with, hey, we're just on the come up. This was extra.
Okay, so you're right. So no.
Spurs, I would not break up those young guards.
So Giannis calls RC Buford and like, I would love to be a Spur. He's like, no, sorry. Well,
Dylan Harper's gonna be a star. Stephon Castle looks like.
Giannis also wants to be on the East Coast. So.
It should be Houston.
Yeah, he wants to be literally closer to Greece. He wants to be on the East Coast. No, I'm not. I'm just telling you. He wants to be on the East Coast. He's going to end up in Boston or Atlanta.
Today, Dak versus the Giants, Sunday Night Football. Is there an A game on the board for Dak Prescott or the dreaded F game? Maybe Professor Broussard weighs in. And are Bruce Spurs in trouble? Wemby not fined or suspended. I would have given like 20 grand. 25 grand maybe. We'll fine.
I'm stunned.
I don't understand how he's not fined.
Yeah, I don't either.
If I was Nas Reed, I'd feel some kind of way. Like,
thankfully, Nas he took it like a champ.
Yeah, do you see he said pain? What did he say? Pain is just weakness leaving the body.
I don't think he invented that phrase.
He did.
Okay.
That's cool. That's like something that you put up in your gym. Like The Rock would have that in his gym.
Yeah, right next to the chart that says you're a selfish teammate depending on the color of your pee.
What? The Rock has that up?
In the college football gyms.
Really?
Yeah. About staying hydrated. You should know this. You're a big workout guy.
Well, I'm always hydrated. Thunder trying to close out the Lakers tonight. These games haven't been close at all. Here's LeBron.
I'm not angry or disappointed. I mean, obviously you're disappointed in the simple fact like you being down 3-0, obviously. But I mean, you know, we still got life, and that's all you can ask for. And we got to be much better on Monday. See what happens.
Okay. Do you want tonight to be LeBron's last game with the Lakers?
I honestly, I just feel like LeBron, I want him to do whatever he wants to do, really. Okay. Like, he's earned that right. He's obviously, you know, blessed us with a fantastic career to watch. So I see two different things for him to look at, two different motivations for him to keep playing. One is a ring, if you want to win another championship. And two is your family. You want to stay with your family in LA, obviously, and play. You're still a great basketball player, and I still want to play. All right? And if we don't win a ring, I'm good with it, but I want to be here. Obviously, those lead to two different things. I don't personally think, now that's me. LeBron can do what he wants. I don't think money should even be a huge part of the issue. Obviously, he's got enough money. He's over over $1 billion. But, you know, I'm not going to rip him for feeling that way, but I'm just saying, if it were me, money would not be the defining factor if I got $1 billion already. All right. If it's a ring, if that's his number one motivation, I think Cleveland, assuming they get bounced this series, is the best choice.
Okay.
And these are teams that are contenders or fringe contenders, but if he went there, he would get a lot of credit for it. They need him. He could be that piece that gets them over the top. So Cleveland be number one. Denver be number two. They could use him too, right? If the Knicks, I don't expect the Knicks to lose soon, but if they don't get to the finals, the Knicks could be.
What if they get to the finals and get blasted? If they get to the finals and the series doesn't look that different than like it's OKC and they beat them like they're beating the Lakers,
then that gives because he needs to go somewhere where he will get credit if he helps them win a championship. So that's a good one. If it's just family and I want to play ball, obviously the Lakers. Now, if it were the Lakers, if he wants to stay in the Lakers, I personally think he wants to stay in LA. That's just me. Then I think, as I said, I think he should look at, okay, what's the amount of money I need to make where we can still go out and improve the team? And obviously, if they're going to pay Austin Reeves, I wouldn't give Austin close to them. I don't know. I'm thinking $30 million a year or something like that.
I don't think that will. Then I don't think they'll.
Yeah, because I don't think Austin and Luka are the top two guys on the championship team, especially in this Western Conference. Like, that's maybe your two number one scorers who are terrible defensively and get hunted. So I would really, that's how I would look at it. Now, and then with these teams, Cleveland, you get a lot of credit if you help them win.
Oh, yeah.
The Lakers, let's say they won it. That'd be great, but it's Luka's team. He's kind of viewed as the top guy. LeBron would get some credit, obviously.
Still be 2 championships with the Lakers.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right. But Luka would, you know what I mean?
Luka would be the lead guy.
Luka be the lead guy. Cleveland, even if Donovan Mitchell's technically the best player, LeBron going there, if they go out in the second round again, it would be like he led them. And obviously, just part 3 would be a great story. Denver's Jokic's team, even if he wins it, LeBron would get a lot of credit for that. New York would be huge. Everything in New York is magnified.
Yes.
It's Brunson's team. I don't think that would change, but LeBron would get credit. But Cleveland, I feel like he'd get the most credit.
So listen, I believe LeBron is going to play 2 more years.
Okay.
I think LeBron's going to play 25 high-level NBA seasons as the final, piece of whatever the GOAT argument is. A notch in that belt will be a quarter century of high-level professional.
The argument for him, and even as I think it's Jordan, is the longevity. To me, that's the argument for LeBron.
Right, and you and I disagree on that. I think they can go peak for peak, but set that aside. Certainly, in the longevity part of the discussion, he has that already and is just building that piece of it. So I think it's not just, if I'm right, that he seems to be alluding to the fact that he might play more than 1 more year.
Yep.
When he did the long-form interview with Dave, he talked about how his daughter's 11, and he said when when I hang it up when she's 12 or 13 or whatever, like he opened that door. Like the other day, he said something about playing another year or 2 or 3. Like, so the reason I bring that up is I don't think you can just look at it as for next season, because what I think is almost certainly true, wherever he decides to play next year is the last team he's playing for. He's not going to, if I'm right, he's playing 2 more years, it's not going to be, Cleveland and then New York or or anything like that. So I do think you have to look at it through that frame. I also don't want him to play with the Lakers next year.
You don't?
Really?
No, I don't. I think that what we are seeing, the reason for that is twofold. One is, even with everyone fully healthy, it looks like they might have built a team for 10 years ago rather than right now. Top-heavy, star-based, you know what I mean, filling around the edges, and that doesn't look like where the modern NBA is going.
Yeah.
That could pivot, that could change, but it does seem like being able to have, 8, 9 reliable players, and that what we're seeing, Minnesota loses Dante DiVincenzo, has to play without Anthony Edwards. Ayo gets hurt, and it's like Ayo we hadn't even talked about, and then he's important. Terrence Shannon Jr., he's important. Like the depth there. We're talking about the Knicks. They are using their bench more. Obviously, OKC and the Spurs go 10 and 9 deep respectively. And I might be even leaving a team out. But regardless, so I don't think the Lakers in one offseason are going to all of a sudden have a deep, young, athletic team. I just don't think you're going to remake the roster like that. That's first reason. Second reason is this. I don't like third option LeBron. I like what we've seen in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he needs to be...
You don't think he's playing very similar? He's only averaging 23 in this series.
He's only averaging 23, but so here's the thing. In the regular season, he averaged, 21? But But when he was in the third option role, it was well beneath that. It was only the final month of the season. And I
wonder
I thought it was like 17, but maybe I'm wrong. But I like to see LeBron have more of an imprint on the game than he was having when he was being. It's one thing to be, secondary to Luke. It's another thing entirely to be tertiary to Austin Reeves, who I really, really like as a player. And that brings me to the money piece, which I do want to ask you this, Brew. Like, do you think, if there were let me put it like this. Do you think LeBron is worth more than Austin Reeves?
But just basketball-wise, because obviously with what he brings wherever he goes.
No. I'm not talking about any marketing stuff. I'm saying if you turned production on the court into
I still think he's better than Austin Reeves.
So I do too.
Yeah.
And I think it is a very interesting spot where it's like LeBron. Because I don't think they're going to give Austin $30 million. If they don't give him the max, I think he is going to get close to the max, or he's going to find another team that will give him the max. That's the thing. He's going to be a free agent. And so I think it's very odd. It's one thing for LeBron to go back to Cleveland and be like, hometown, I'll play for free, basically. Mm-hmm. Final story. It's another thing entirely for the Lakers to be like, we can't pay you because we need to pay this guy who is not as good as you. And that is just.
But where's he gonna go and make? I mean, you could argue on a yearly basis he's still a max player.
That's exactly
Where's he
right.
going to get that?
I don't. Barring a sign and trade, I don't know because which are hard to do. But my answer to this is, I do want it to be his last game. I think New York would be absolutely unbelievable final chapter if they don't get over the hump this year. But my gut kind of tells me Cleveland. That Cleveland moves on from Harden. Donovan Mitchell to me is very similar stylistically to Kyrie Irving as far as, not really stylistically, but as far as the role on a LeBron James team that you would fill. And you have legitimately good, versatile defensive bigs who, with LeBron on the team, would have less of an offensive, workload. And LeBron could absolutely do exactly what they brought James Harden in to do. Be our secondary scorer, get these guys lobs, run the offense. Like, he is just a better version.
I don't think you'd have him play point, though. Because I just think that will wear him down over the course of an 82-game season.
I think over the course of an 82-game season, but I think in the playoffs he could do it. I think in the playoffs he could do it if he doesn't have to have such a heavy scoring load because Donovan's there.
All right, as for tonight, we still haven't seen even an average game from SGA. And if this is LeBron's last game in a Lakers uniform, he could go out guns blazing. So who is more likely to have just a huge game, SGA or LeBron?
I mean, I'll say SGA. He hasn't had one in this series. He's obviously due. And he obviously they're a very team-oriented team, but I think he wants to come out and have a big game. Like I said, he hasn't had one yet. LeBron, his numbers, he's obviously having a very good series, but his numbers have declined. They're playing every other day. His numbers have declined in each game, shooting percentage and points. So it seems like that every other day is taking a toll on him. Now, he obviously could come out and have a great game, but it's not like he can just say, I'm going out tonight.
Correct.
And
it's not
going
2018 anymore.
Yeah, and if he were going to do that, you wouldn't save it for game 4.
You would have done it in game 3.
You'd have done it, yeah. So I would go with SGA.
I'm going to go with SGA for a different reason. I wonder if the Lakers are like, you know what? Plan didn't work.
Yep.
We're holding, SGA's having the worst series he's had since he's been a superstar, and we get annihilated every single game.
Someone get a hand in front of Jaden McCain's face.
You know what? Guys, whoever came up with the plan, if you were like, hey, we have figured out how to stop SGA, kudos to you. You were right.
You did a great job.
Bad job by the rest of us by not rebutting, being like, what does that mean for actually winning the game? And so
Smart's done a really good job.
And so
Dublin too.
I think if you're JJ Redick, simultaneously, I think knows they're not winning the series and is like, but we're not going out like this. And then who knows? Like, I think JJ's just like crazy enough to be like, win today and see what the hell happens. So I don't think he is going to, cash in his chips on adjustments. And the adjustment to make is play SGA straight up, and if he goes for 35, so be it. See if it all of a sudden Jared McCain stops being prime Ray Allen and everything else. I think SGA is going to get more of single coverage, and that is more likely to lead to a huge win or a huge game.
Do you think we're in danger of a let go of the rope moment from the Lakers?
Definitely.
That we saw the Knicks
just
kind of just take the
absolutely
tin man.
It's human nature. If
that happens, which I think is on the board, I'm very interested in how LeBron acts towards the crowd and how the crowd serenades LeBron. Is it going to feel like a goodbye? I really don't know. Is it going to be like a standing in the third, coming out, checking in the fourth quarter if the game's out of hand? Is it going to be a standing ovation?
I could be wrong. I don't feel this doesn't have the feel of a game where everybody really believes this could be LeBron's last game.
But don't you think he'll know?
I think it's.
That's why I'm interested to see what he does.
I just feel. Do you feel like
I don't think he knows.
If people thought this was going to be his last game with the Lakers, or even a great chance of it, I think it would be kind of a bigger deal.
I don't know, but if you remember, I don't think people were treating his last game with the Heat like it could be his last game with the Heat. Now it was a finals game, but it was they were down 3-1. And it was, I just remember Bill Simmons
saying he had only been there 4 years.
That's true.
It wasn't as big of a. Yeah.
There's a lot of odd circumstances that could go into it. The game almost has to be a blowout for what you're describing to even be available to happen. If it's a 3-point game with 4 minutes left, you can't be like,
oh, that's ridiculous.
Okay.
3-point game, 4 minutes left.
But if you want to see how the crowd reacts to the end of this game, be about 1:15 a.m. Eastern on Amazon Prime.
Lock in. Lottery is in. Turns out tanking works. Wizards, Jazz, Grizzlies at 3, Bulls at 4, and the Clippers from the Pacers round out the top 5. What was your biggest headline from how the lottery fell?
Twofold quickly. One, I'm happy for Memphis. They got some lottery luck. They're going to get an excellent player. They moved up, and I thought they deserved it. I don't think they deserved to have their team implode the way it did. They're going to obviously trade Ja, and they traded Jaren, they traded Bane. They'll build around either Cam Blues or Carlos or Caleb Wilson or whomever. My other takeaway is this. I don't know if the audience knows this. I'm a gambler. I like a game of chance.
Yeah, we've mentioned that.
Which is why when the Pacers traded for Ivica Zubac and the big chip they traded away was a 48% chance that the Clippers were going to get an awesome draft pick, I applauded it. It's like, you know what? You're saying we're going to get this excellent player, Zubac, who's on a good contract, who's going to fit with Halliburton, and we have slightly better than a coin flip chance to not lose our pick because it was protected for picks 1 through 4, and the best you can do is 52% chance to get picks 1 through 4. I was like, hey, coin flip, it's worth the gamble. You lost the coin flip. That happens. I've lost expensive coin flips before. Then I saw what President of Basketball Operations, Kevin Pritchard, said to the world.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it was a real tweet. I'm really sorry to all our fans. I own taking this risk. Okay, all good. Surprised it came up 5th. I thought we were due some luck. What? It was 52-48, man. I'm fine with you saying sorry to our fans. I own taking this risk. If I were you, I would just stand by it. We think the process was good. We also think Zubac is going to be excellent, which he says there. But if what he wrote is true, and part of his calculus on trading away this pick was not just 52-48. It's like, well, it's 52. But, man, that roulette wheel has come up 7 in a row red. So black has to be next.
A little bit, but like we didn't.
That's
Halliburton got shingles.
That is unforgivable for someone running an operation. So I just hope it's a poorly worded tweet because I don't mind the risk. I do mind him saying I didn't think it was that big of a risk because we were due.
Yeah, I do.
I know you guys believe in due dates. I believe in the math on it.
I'm going to go just basketball. Look, the Wizards have been a horrendous franchise for decades now. I mean, even when they get a good player, John Wall, Bradley Beal, Gilbert Arenas, Anton Jameson, something goes wrong. All right? So I hate to send a player there. I mean, I wasn't really excited about any of these teams that are at the top of the lottery. I'm just going to keep it real. But Chicago was a horrible franchise before Jordan got there. Cleveland was nothing special before LeBron got there. I'm not saying this next pick will be that, but I think if they get AJ DeBance, that's who I would take, period. And I would just try to build around him. Trae Young, I'm showing him, I'm talking to him about Tiny Archibald. And I'm saying, look, Tiny was a great scorer and assist man for all these years and didn't win anything. You see Atlanta got better when you left. Tiny went to the Boston Celtics and won championships as a true point guard. That's what we want you to be, a true point guard. You can still score some, but we want you to be a point guard, and this is the guy, the big scorer. AD, I'm probably looking to move.
Oh.
Assuming I can get something of value for him. I know he's got the injury history, so
people will want
I can
to
get
trade
some
for
good
him.
stuff
You get
for
the
him.
number one pick if you trade for Anthony Davis.
Oh, I heard that.
The math.
I thought you were the math guy. I thought you were the math guy.
Yeah, that's true.
It's 2 for 2. It's all right.
2 for 2. That is huge.
Are the Spurs in trouble? That's next on First Things First. Saturday night baseball on Fox. We're in the Big Apple Subway Series. Yankees, Mets. Or you might get to see Padres, Mariners, but I hope you see Yankees, Mets. Saturday, 7 o'clock, only on Fox. Welcome back to the show. Wemby got ejected, so Anthony Edwards took over. Has best game of the playoffs, 36.6 rebounds. Series now tied at 2. Brew, are your Spurs in trouble?
No, they're just in a heck of a tough series. You know, I mean, Anthony Edwards had 32, 14 boards, 6 assists in game 3.
Yep.
And they beat him. The Spurs beat him. So it's a tough series. I still feel confident the Spurs will win. I actually think they will win in 6.
Oh.
But this could be a 7-game series, no doubt. I think Wemby, because in that game 3 where Anthony Edwards was big, Wemby was huge. So I do think Wemby needs to be huge for them. De'Aaron has had great moments. Obviously, Dylan Harper's played really well. Like, they're all doing what they do. They fought valiantly without Wemby yesterday. But I do think he's going to need to have big games to override what Anthony Edwards does. So it's just a tough series, man. This is a war. This is every bit as tough as Denver would have been for them.
Yeah.
And so, but I still think the Spurs pull out a tough one.
I do think they're in trouble with this version of Ant. And I think this is not 36 a game, but I think this is the version of Ant we're going to get. I think the fact that he now has had back-to-back huge minutes, huge, 30-plus point games means, and he is feeling better, more confident on that knee. I just assumed, and I want to say this, the Io playing, I think, is one of the most admirable sports feats of this playoffs. I think it would have been totally reasonable and maybe smart for a young player dealing with a calf and then a heel in the same leg who is weeks away from being a free agent to be like, I need to be 100%. He is clearly not 100%, and he is saying, I'm laying it out for my team. Go ahead, Brew.
He's playing well.
He is, but but I think you can see that he isn't 100%. He also might have saved the game for them yesterday.
Yeah.
Because him back heel kicking. Yeah.
I felt like that was an accident.
It was an accident, which is why it wasn't a violation. But they could have blown that game in tragic fashion. The 2 Wolves wins. What would concern me is the Wolves have almost blown both of their wins. 7-point leads late in both of them, and it came down, very into the last moments. But De'Aaron's had some big games, but he hasn't been shooting well the whole series. And I got to think at some point, Jaden McDaniels breaks out of this shooting slump. Jaden McDaniels this year was 41% from three. This postseason, including the Denver series, he is 16% from three. And
I forgot he was so cold that.
And so he was able to score despite it. Game 3 where they lost, he had his best shooting game of the series or of the playoffs, 3 for 8 from 3. And I just think the relentlessness of the Wolves matters. And you're only looking at, I shouldn't say you're only. When we talked about Wemby, you were turning the spotlight to the potential positive impacts of him throwing that elbow and saying, I'm not going to be messed with. The flip side to that coin was that's a sign that they are really getting to him. That he is, even coming off a monster game where they won, that he is frustrated.
Yeah.
I
think a lot of this stuff is fruit off of Brew's inexperience in the playoff tree. That I know you've abandoned, but it used to be one.
No, but that's why I'm glad.
Tenants.
I think this was a big lesson for him. I agree with that. That's an experience coming through, and it's good for him to happen now.
I know, but that's like your escape hatch. It like turns out.
Well, I look at it like, one, we saw OKC overcome inexperience to some degree, not this much, last year when they're even younger than the Spurs are. And because of his size and skill at that size, we just haven't seen anything like that. So I wonder, he bucks conventional wisdom. So will conventional wisdom just get thrown out the window in this case?
But what do you think that elbow, where do you think that elbow was going to sway officiating in Game 5? Do you think the Mitch Johnson, push of he's getting beat up?
Oddly, yes.
You think that?
I think Wemby will get more calls.
Really?
So,
yeah.
We have to officiate a little bit tighter.
So I think that might be true. I also think that there are a lot of unintentional basketball plays that only get reviewed or not reviewed depending on who the offending party is.
Sure.
So the play that I showed earlier where Wemby hit Rudy in the face accidentally, and Rudy got the foul call, and they asked them to review it, and they didn't review it. I do wonder if this puts more of a spotlight on plays like that. And where that matters, honestly, is the flagrant foul point thing. Because I understand he wasn't suspended, but he now, for the rest of this series and the rest of this postseason, only has one flagrant foul point to play with. You get 2 for a flagrant 2, and at 4 you get suspended. So, I think there's a real, impact there. And I do think I think they might call the contact on Wemby a little bit tighter, but I also think they're going to have a much closer eye on Wemby's reactions on things because of that play. And so I'm just very curious, and I am curious if the Timberwolves feel like, dude, we're getting to him. He's frustrated, he's bothered. He doesn't like how physical we're being, and his coach confirmed they think it's unfair, like how that plays out.
Head to Philadelphia, Embiid swept, played a total of 7 games in the playoffs. These last 3, he averaged just under 19 points against the Knicks. Now, he considered finishing the year healthy, his words, not mine, a win. Take a listen.
I'm as confident as I've ever been. I think, obviously, that was the biggest concern, and I'm not thinking about it. And as long as we keep doing what we've been doing, I won't have to think about it anymore. So, I'm looking at next year, obviously being more available.
Okay, your reaction.
Well, look, the Sixers are in trouble. Embiid is about to begin a new 3-year, $193 million extension.
$64 million a year?
Think about that.
That's
$64
And Paul George, it has 2 years, $110 million left on his contract.
Yeah.
So my first thought was, you know what I'd do if I was Philly next year? I would bring Embiid off the bench. But he's really too good for that.
Yeah.
So I would just be like, look, if he's ready to play in training camp in the season, we're just going to play him. He's going to be our starter. We're going to play him, but we're not playing through him. Tyrese Maxey, even with Embiid out there, has got to be the guy. And I think even VJ Edgecombe has to be the second guy. And you just have Embiid. I would actually look toward, I don't want to take away his mid-range game entirely because he's great at it, but I wonder if playing him closer to the basket might help him. I know it's more physical, but it's not as much, out on the perimeter, herky-jerky, everything on your joints. So maybe that would help him too if he played a little closer to the basket. But you just obviously can't count on him being healthy. And this year they tried. He was out most of the year, tried him for the playoffs, but he couldn't even get through 4 or 5 straight playoff games.
No, listen, I think Embiid is a player where you would, if I were running the team that had Joel Embiid going into next year, I would be considering unprecedented measures. Like, your season starts at Christmas.
Yep.
And Christmas through All-Star, you are playing once a week. And the All-Star through the playoffs, you are playing twice a week. And you're going to play 20 regular season games, and we're going to ramp you up because we think the evidence is you've got 40 healthy games in you a year, and we need to save 20 of them for the playoffs. I think that I would, at this point, and I understand this show and many are very anti-load management, all those things. Here's the thing. If you're running the Sixers that's outrageous. Joel Embiid is getting paid $64 million, he's playing every day. Guess what? You're maxing out around 40 games at this point anyway. The question is, when are you getting them?
40 weren't even fully healthy.
Right. The question is, when are you getting them? This is not being soft. This isn't load management. This is recognizing the reality that this guy is 7'2", close to 300 pounds, has dealt with every single lower body injury imaginable, and his body's not built to play 100 games in a year. He's not built to play 75 games in a year. He has been eligible for almost 1,000 games in his career. He's missed just under 500. He's played just under 500. That's where he's at. So that's what I would do, because I don't think you can trade him. And I do, Maxey and Edgecombe are awesome, and that is what it is.
He mentioned he's like, I don't know if I'm going to be here next year.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of teams that are going to be
signing up for that
in the business. I want to say one other thing, because I've said this many times, but now it has come up again. Bringing children to press conferences after losses should not be allowed. And I think Joel Embiid is obviously an awesome family man and a great dad. And when we first saw it with, I think it was Steph's daughter, Riley,
right.
It was, not only was it adorable, here's the other thing, it was in the midst of them always winning, and all the press conference stuff was just celebratory. And so it was cute, and there was never oh man, I kind of need to ask him an awkward question, but he has this adorable child with him.
Right.
It is, whether intentional or not, the ultimate effect is your kid is shielding you from what could be tough or uncomfortable questions. That is the point of those press conferences.
Right.
And I am not picking on Embiid because he's not the only guy to do it. And I do like NBA guys in the 90s, it was the opposite kind of stereotype of these guys, the old Sports Illustrated article, Where's Daddy, the absentee father stuff. I really like how the modern NBA star has really embraced, we know all these guys' kids. We know Deuce. We know Cannon Curry. We know Bron's kids on the team, but his other kids,
Cam Boozer.
There you go.
He drafted.
But I don't think after season-ending losses, when you're talking about your future with a team, that you should have your kid on your lap. I know I'll just get ripped for it, but I know I'm right.
I disagree.
Coming up next. What grade will Professor Brew give the Cowboys? Again, it should not be pixelated. It just should be a question mark. That's next on First Things First.
I like the effect.
No, it's gross.
Pixelation.
Welcome back to the show. We got our first confirmed Sunday night football game. It's going to be Cowboys in New York to face Harbaugh and Jackson Dart. Dallas is favored in this one, Brew, just barely. Are we more likely to see an A or an F game? This is just in pencil, just more likely.
I think I'm really getting out there on the Cowboys. There will be an F game or two, no doubt.
Just or two.
Well, but that's the thing. Like, the F game has been a whole era.
Yeah.
The singers have been in here. They were in here every week, it felt like.
Yeah.
Right? I think we're out of that era. I'm high on the Cowboys. Nick tried to steal my take the Cowboys,
this guy is
right now, I've got them winning the NFC East.
He's unbelievable.
And he's trying to get in on there.
It's a great take.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Thank you. He's trying to steal it. But look, it's the Giants. I think it's going to, I know Harbaugh is back, but I think they're going to go out there, the Cowboys, and play an A game against the Giants. Been so far so good in the offseason. Great draft, add a lot of defensive players. Even by other means, they added their interior defensive line is going to be really nice. Offensively, George Pickens seems like he's all aboard and ready to prove himself again. So I think an A game is incoming against the Giants.
I agree with Brew. That is more likely than an F game. But I want to say this. If the Cowboys have an A game, it's against the Giants in New York to start the Harbaugh era on Sunday Night Football. It's a catastrophe for the Giants.
Like if they
an A game is a blowout.
Yeah, if an A game for the Cowboys, for this to be an A game, it means it's 31-17 or worse. That's right. That's what you're saying.
Because an A game is not, we put up 38, but they scored 35.
No, that wouldn't be. And also 17-14, and the offense doesn't hum. Like what it means, the offense looks like it did at its best last year, and the defense looks greatly improved. And the co-star of that movie would be this Giants defense that has 7 first-round picks on it or whatever it is, struggles mightily, and Jackson Dart doesn't cook against a defense that last year was the worst in the NFL. I don't think the Giants have to win this game, obviously, to have a good season. But I do think that if it looks like, look at what it says. Every year when these teams play in week 1, it's a blowout. 94-20. So that's a 31-7 average score. So an A game for Dallas is a ominous sign for the first year of Harbaugh's tenure. I also, because Brew did, land grab the Cowboys winning the division corner. That's fine.
Said I was my turn to speak, and I said I think they're going to do
on the flip side of this game, I'm just going to be on the record. I am not as optimistic about Jackson Dart, franchise quarterback, as it seems like the general public is.
Okay, why not?
I think he's reckless.
Well, that's true.
He is reckless.
Yeah.
That's just true.
Josh Allen was reckless, not that he's Josh.
Josh Allen was reckless. Josh Allen also, and it's not like Jackson Dart's a small kid. Josh Allen is one of the most physically imposing quarterbacks ever, and one of the most naturally athletically gifted quarterbacks ever. I don't think Jackson Dart is either of those things. I appreciate the competitive spirit that he has, and I wouldn't have minded the plays if they didn't come with the standoffishness. Everyone who's seen me play knows this is how I play. I think there's a level of foolishness to that. You then add to it that I think there was a little bit, that's just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. But you then add to it, I thought that he and Scadaboo's very bro-ish demeanors, I think that can work as your rugged running back and not so much as your starting quarterback. And what I am very curious about is how much John Harbaugh can curtail that. Because it felt to me like Dable looked at Dart as the way to save his job, and a lifeline from Russell Wilson.
Yeah, pop out of the out of the tent.
So
we need
he
you
just,
now.
so Dable was just trying to embrace him as much as possible. Dable's then fired. Interim head coach probably understandably doesn't feel like he even has more power than the popular starting quarterback. So that's something I'm watching for the Giants.
Okay. I've been impressed since the Denver game. The Denver comeback, they didn't even win, but made me a Jackson Dart somewhat believer. Okay. Top, what, 17 quarterbacks? Live from New York, first things first, overtime today. Cowboys, Giants, week 1. Does Dallas need to start hot? And we are expecting more news from the schedule. We'll hopefully find out what games Fox has coming up this hour. Meanwhile, is tonight LeBron's last game as a Laker? Wow. And is it going to be over at halftime? Maybe not. Maybe just be up 1 at halftime.
I mean, that's how it's been going. It's close through 2.5
They look
quarters.
good in the first
half. They just don't have.
What's happening in the locker room at halftime?
No, they're just running out of steam, man. The Thunder have 12 guys.
I
The
need
Lakers
more
have
steam.
4.
You got a whole summer to relax. And finally, is it time for Danny to believe in Jalen Brunson and the Knicks? What did you call
When they were up 2-0.
The try-hard Pistons.
Oh,
The try-hard Pistons picked the Cavs to win the East.
What did you
Knicks
say?
look good.
What did you say when they were up 2-0? That they should be very concerned.
Yeah, I'd be
so
stressed.
up 4-0, I'd be just panicked.
I said I'd be stressed.
Just outright panicked.
Finals or bust. I said stressed. The Knicks have been great. I've been very wrong. Not as wrong as Nick, but very wrong.
Nick Wright and Danny Parkins, was ridiculed for his walk-in outfit, and I thought it looked just fine.
Thank you, Wilds. I dress for comfort,
We
especially
know,
when I
buddy.
have a flight after the show.
Can I tell you
That's
something?
not in-
Nobody sees the walk-in videos and thinks you're dressing for anything. It's either for comfort or your insolvency.
No one thinks
I think I look good.
Yeah, nobody's like, oh man, he looks great, but man, I bet his back hurts. Like,
Those are nice pants. I don't understand. They are. They're expensive pants.
yeah, because you can spill coffee on them and it just slides off.
That's a feature.
I'll take them. Salesman's like, watch this. All right, the Spurs lost. Wemby got ejected. What do you make of Wemby's ejection? And there's no fine and there's no suspension, Parkins.
Yeah, a lot of things. As I was watching it, I actually was surprised he was ejected, like just in the moment. And I don't know if it's because I've become like...
Including the slow motion?
Yeah, but it's not because it wasn't like worthy of an ejection. It slows down.
Right.
It's a dirty play, and I've seen plenty of guys get ejected for plays like that. But it still is a human being making the call, and it was jarring to see Victor Wembanyama ejected from a playoff game.
Yep.
He was just like, oh, this changes everything immediately. I am relieved that there is no further punishment because I do want to see it settled on the court. But now that we've had 24 hours, I think the biggest takeaway that I have from it is we talked a lot about playoff experience or lack thereof. Yeah. This is his first time really getting tested because Portland just did not have the horses to like really push him around. Minnesota does. They bully you. They are physical. It is reasonable to say these are the most physical games of Victor Wembanyama's basketball life.
Definitely.
Right? Just, international play.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, possibly. It's
and so
over there sometimes, too.
He has now brought into the equation losing. Because I think that if he plays in all 7 games, that's part of why there are fewer upsets in the NBA historically, because it isn't the NCAA tournament. It's not single elimination. You get ejected, you lose that game, now it's 2-2, now it's a best of 3. It brings in randomness, and anything can happen. So I thought that was a sign of his playoff inexperience and immaturity because he had never really faced that type of thing before, and he reacted very poorly.
No, I agree. And I think it's good that he experienced it when he did, like early in his playoff career. What if that happened in the Western Conference Finals or the finals or next, you know what I mean? Like, he now knows how to deal with, Nick brought up the point, he's only got one flagrant foul to play with, so he knows he has to be cool. And we haven't seen throughout his career thus far him lose it like this. So I don't expect this to be a problem for him. But like you, I actually applaud. I didn't want him. I wanted them to give him a flagrant one, and I thought there was a good chance they might do it. But when you slow it down, you see his intent. He wound up. Like, clearly it was worthy of a flagrant 2. But I gave the NBA credit for ejecting him because, to your point, nobody wanted to see him taken out of the game. And we don't know how it would have affected the game. Obviously, they lost the game with him already. But if he does lose, if they lose this series, this will be something people mention as a possible reason why.
If they lose this series, it's the almost one of the only things that could put even a tiny bad taste in your mouth about this season. If they lose this series,
you think you're going to point to Game 4?
Well,
if they lose 2 more games.
I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There's plenty of time to make amends.
No, of course,
and
but
we don't know what.
But
they
if they
have won.
lose this series, it would almost by definition mean Wemby didn't make amends for it. I don't
No,
think.
but then it'll be like,
6.
why couldn't you play better, or whatever the case.
Sure, but I mean, I don't think any of us would think that had they won that game, they were going to blow a 3-1 lead.
No.
And I don't know that they would have. We don't know how the game would have played out if he doesn't get ejected. We do know they are much better with him than without him.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been very consistent on this forever. It's why guys with a bad track record, I give almost no benefit of the doubt on dirty plays or plays like this, however you want to classify it. And guys with a good track record, I give a lot of benefit of the doubt. I do not think this makes Victor Wembanyama a dirty or a dangerous player. But that was a dirty and a dangerous play. And in all the time, at least the 3 of us have been doing the show together, and I'm only saying that because it's a longer time than you've been here, the only time an MVP caliber guy that I can remember got thrown out of a playoff game was Joker when he smacked Campaign against the Suns, and that was, they were down either 3-0 or 3-1, and it was the end of like their season was over. It was a dirty, bad play, but the game was not in the balance. You don't see this.
No.
You don't see, and it's not just because refs give a wide berth to great players. It's because normally great players don't do this.
Right.
And the comp I used earlier, I'll use again. Like I watched foul out of a finals game. Just foul out.
Mm-hmm.
Get his 6th foul of the finals game and got annihilated for it. If Luka got thrown out of a game for yelling at refs and his team lost a high leverage playoff game, we would not be talking about it being a learning moment, all these things. Now, I don't understand Wemby's young.
But that's to your point. Luka's got a track record with the refs.
No doubt. But
if he was doing this all the time.
This does feel a little like a one-off.
Yeah, that's the difference.
It's the first time he's been ejected.
Yeah, but it's everything for when you the flip side to being so young is your track record, doesn't really exist. Like you're building a track, you're building your resume and your career. And can I say one thing about him not being suspended? I have moved from lucky to very lucky on that. Because I showed earlier a Ron Artest test play that he got 7 games for, 6 of which were playoff games. And Wildes correctly mentioned, when you fight a fan a few years before, you have a bad track record.
And plenty of other things.
And, right, a lot of stuff. J.R. Smith did this in a playoff game and got suspended for the next game. And we're going to show it to you. And J.R. had a worse track record than Wemby. I will concede that. But that is not as bad as Wemby's elbow. And he got suspended.
I would not have suspended J.R. Smith. I don't remember the full context around that. I would not. Do you think that would be a good precedent to suspend?
He just swung up.
No, what I'm
I don't even know how.
What I'm saying is, I think where it gets a little tricky is if it had been reversed and Naz Reid had done that to Wemby and Chris Finch after the game's like, you know what? Sometimes you got to take matters into your own hands. Like that was the other thing that I thought, Brew. I thought Mitch Johnson's post-game press conference of basically
risky.
We had to go vigilante style since the refs weren't doing their jobs was going to tilt the scale more towards suspension. Even though I agree with you guys, none of us want we all want to see the best players out there. But I wouldn't have felt like he was done wrong. If it was announced today he was suspended, I would not have felt like the NBA did him wrong. I would have felt bad for Spurs fans and his teammates, but to me, it was on the board. I know you disagree with me.
I do, because he basically paid the punishment in that game. It happened early enough. But I also think he's lucky that Naz Reid was okay.
Right.
I mean,
like caught him in the wrong place.
You break his jaw. We see that all the time. Where
when the Ron Artest elbow on Harden, I think one of the reasons he got 7 games was Harden got a concussion.
Right.
So Harden had to miss games himself.
We see that all the time, where you kind of punish the result, not exactly the action of it. And so in a lot of ways, he is lucky. But I have no problem still saying I'm glad. Like, I'm glad he gets to play in Game 5. But I mean, steal Game 5 if you're Minnesota, and then win Game 6 at home. We'll talk about that as the turning point in the series.
No, if they lose the next 2, that will be talked about that way.
All right, head to Philadelphia. The Knicks tied a playoff record. They hit 11 threes in the first quarter. 30-point win, complete the sweep. Jalen Brunson had 22 and 6 assists, but he's plus 31 in the game. Here's Paul George. Take a listen.
We were trending in the right direction. But ultimately, we ran into a hot New York's team who, I feel like they're getting momentum and they're playing better and better as these games are coming. And, they came out hot. They threw haymakers early and they kept on.
All right, Danny, are you ready to believe in New York?
I guess so. This is wild. And I understand that I was of the 4 of us, the one who doubted them the loudest, because Knicks fans are very angry at me on the internet, and that's fine. It's a great basketball fan base. But I think if they're being honest, they're a little surprised by this too. Like, none of us picked the Knicks to win the East. They look like a juggernaut out of nowhere. They had a good regular season that was inconsistent, and even if you had them making it to the Eastern Conference Finals again, doing it in this fashion is historic.
Yes.
Quite literally.
The run they're on is historic.
If we just best point differential, so just blowing out your opponent through the second round in NBA history, it's the biggest. Don't think we saw that coming.
It's also not too close.
Right. By a healthy margin over the 09 Nuggets. And then if we just do 25-point wins, just non-competitive basketball, most blowout wins through 2 rounds, it's the most. And all 4 of them have come in the last 6 games. Nobody saw this coming. And you can say, no Embiid, the Hawks were young and should not have been there if you want to take away from it. No. But they are playing great, and I don't think it's unreasonable to be like, I'm surprised by it. I am. I'm
surprised by the dominance.
But that's what this is.
But just them advancing this far, I don't think should be that big of a surprise. But they're playing well enough where they can win the championship. Like, that is now on the table that they could win the championship.
So I have a question for Danny, and then I want to give an opinion. But first I have a question. Because Danny's right now doing this dance of like, Knicks fans, you guys are making me eat it. Look at you, you're a great team. Danny, do you think the Knicks have any chance of winning the NBA championship?
Not if they play the Thunder.
So
no.
No.
But what if they don't play the Thunder?
I think that there's a chance that they could beat the Spurs.
They beat the Spurs 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I think there's a chance they could beat the Spurs with their inexperience, and certainly Minnesota. I think that they would lose to the Thunder in 5.
But
5.
I do not think it would be competitive.
Probably going to be right about the Thunder.
So you think?
I think the Thunder are inevitable. I've said that all year.
How many games you think they go in the Western Conference Finals with whoever it is?
Minnesota 5, San Antonio 6 or 7.
Okay, so you think San Antonio's a unique matchup?
San Antonio is a unique matchup for them and for everyone, and they took 4 of 5 in the regular season, and they will have advanced there. I think San Antonio is a problem. I don't think anybody else is for the Thunder.
All right, can I give my opinion now?
Yeah, sure.
I think the Knicks are playing unbelievable, and right now they are the Vegas favorite and the rightful favorite in the Eastern Conference, and they're going to have plenty of rest as that series won't start till Sunday. I really wonder how this series landed on Brad Stevens' desk, where it's like, okay, so we won the title. Then the next year, we lost to the Knicks, we lost to the Pacers, we lost to the Thunder. So were we that close? This year, yeah, Game 7 we didn't have Jason Tatum, but we lost elimination games 5 and 6, including one at home with Tatum to a Sixers team that then just got absolutely pasted by the Knicks.
Yeah, he does. He said that.
No, correct.
Like, we are not close.
So that's my point. Before we even saw how this played out, it felt like Brad Stevens was saying we were a bit of a paper tiger. Whether I agree with that or not is what he was saying. So, like, in a weird way, I do think the Knicks annihilating the Sixers makes a Jaylen Brown trade more likely. Like that Boston does something very significant because they're like, we are 2 seed be damned. We just lost 3 in a row to a team that all of a sudden all of its flaws were laid bare for the world against a Knicks team that 2 weeks ago people had on death's door. Yeah. And so I think that there's a real impact on that for Boston.
Are you ready?
Am I ready?
Yeah, to talk about Harden. You were texting us all week.
Born
about Game 3 Harden. He had 19 points, and once he hit this shot, Parkins started sending texts and memes of Harden.
Sorry to interrupt your weekend by watching hoops.
Here's James Harden after the game.
What chatter?
That's exactly the answer to the question. What chatter?
I play basketball, and whatever this team needs me to do, I'm gonna go out there and do it. So, letting the game play out. Fourth quarter, my number was called, and I go to work.
Okay. Do you think your takes on Harden and the Cavs were vindicated?
Has the series started?
Not yet. We're still waiting.
Series hasn't started. Home team hasn't lost. Cavs undefeated at home in the playoffs. What's the closest the series can be after 3 games?
2-1. What it is?
What's the series right now?
2-1. That's not the question.
It's close.
If it keeps up this way, they lose in 7.
Yeah, I know.
But that make you feel better?
A Game 7 James Harden would be great for you.
No, it would not.
He almost needs to root for it, though.
Why?
Because
that's your chance.
8 points on 3 of 11.
But that's your
the
chance
3 of
to be
11
right.
is what he loves. It's what he loves. Go ahead.
What do you see down there next to James Harden? What do you see there? Is it Donovan?
Yeah.
35 and 10?
Yes.
He looked great.
Yes, he did.
Finally. He looked like game 1 and 2 against Toronto, where he was excellent. That is what the Cavs are supposed to be. That is the Big 4. Can I give you the Big 4? You guys want to just talk about James Harden because you guys are focused on narratives.
Yeah,
I'm watching ball, and I'm seeing the Cavs. Look at the Big 4. 85, 24, and 16, shooting 60%.
For 4 guys.
6 rebounds per player.
In a win.
Get excited about
Evan
that.
Mobley should play a little bit bigger. I got to be honest with you. Evan Mobley is disappointing.
He had 1 rebound in
2 games ago. That was humiliating. But Harden was great late. Donovan Mitchell was great throughout. And that is the vision for what this Cavs team can be that I still believe will win the series and can win the East.
Well, it can win the East?
I picked
You were saying it with your chest.
The Knicks are a shocking development, as we just discussed. I have to be open to the possibility that I was just flat wrong about the Knicks.
But you have to be open to the possibility you were flat wrong about James Harden being a bad playoff addition. You weren't, buddy.
Listen, 2 games ago, he was really bad, and he was horrendous defensively. That was a low point. And game 2 was a low point. Game 3, I'm back.
Okay. All right.
I'm not here to talk about the distant past. I'm here to talk about Game 3, where he was great late.
Do you think he'll be excellent tonight?
I do.
Okay.
He might.
Yeah, I think he'll be great.
We've got breaking football news straight from the Fox upfronts. Eagles at Cowboys will be the Thanksgiving Day game. 4:30 on Fox. Brew, must win?
Oh, that's a good question.
No, is this your first reaction to seeing Eagles-Cowboys?
I'm going to say double must win.
Double must win. He's
The rare
double
must win.
Wow. I mean, listen, Cowboys on Thanksgiving against Philly, I'll watch. I will be there for it. The NFC East is all of a sudden one of the most wide open divisions. Every team believes they can win it. Like, not that we can't say that about every team. Philly, I think, is vulnerable. Dallas, people are going to pick them to win the Super Bowl. Giants have everything new. And Washington is getting Jaden Daniels back, who they think is one of the biggest difference makers. So in that spot, we'll be talking about playoff ramifications in November.
Yeah, and I think the Eagles have the biggest variance of any team in the league. I think the Eagles are the only team in the league that I could see having the best record in the NFL, that I also could see their coach not making it to this game.
To this game would be wild.
That would be very wild.
I think
they'd have to be horrible.
Thanksgiving's late in the year. Am I wrong on the football calendar? It's
No,
like
it just
week
seems early.
13 or
It seems.
something? Week 14? And so I think the Eagles absolutely could just be dominant again. And I think all of the cracks that we saw show up over the course of last year, that dam could finally break. And I think it will take that brew for your prediction of the Cowboys winning the division, which is in pencil, I understand, to be true. Like, I don't think the Cowboys are going to have the capability of being a 13-win team. I think their path to winning the division is that no one in the division wins 12 games. That 11-6 wins, you know what I mean, wins the division. I also always find the Cowboys Thanksgiving, if I'm the Cowboys, I always want one of my bigger games Thanksgiving. Because
they seem to. We have to look up the side. They just seem to play
well. They're
well
just
on
it's routine for them. So it's literally every year. So everyone who's on the Cowboys knows exactly what we do Thanksgiving week. They beat my Chiefs on Thanksgiving last year, back before that was kind of the beginning of the Chiefs season truly falling apart. Was that loss on Thanksgiving? So if I'm Dallas, this is my most important home game of the year. My home game against the team that's won the division 2 years in a row. I like that I have the bit of the schedule.
It shows the power or the interest in the NFC East if we have Cowboys, Giants for Sunday Night Football release, and Thanksgiving is going to be Eagles, Cowboys. It's the power of the star on the helmet, but also just the whole division is going to be great. Okay, coming up next, I love schedule release week.
I do too.
Once we hear that Bears-Seattle game hit,
he's convinced your team's going to Seattle for weeks.
The Giants
Super Bowl rematch.
A hot start.
Super Bowl rematch to open. Why not? Welcome back to First Things First. We got Willie Colon out here. Sunday Night Football Week 1.
Yeah.
I mean, it's May, baby. Schedule release. I love it. Cowboys taking on the Giants in New York, prime time, 8:20 Eastern, September 13th. Both teams, of course, significant offseason changes to turn things around from last year, where both teams were eliminated from playoff contention earlier than they would have liked. So, Willie, who needs a hot start more, Cowboys or the G-Men?
I'm going to say the Cowboys. It's imperative for them to prove that they're not the same team from last year. Like, you don't go out and get a young Christian Parker as defensive coordinator and make the acquisitions you did on the defensive side and just be the same outfit. It just can't happen. Offensively, we expect them to be elite because of what they have. But defensively, they have to be a lot better. But I do feel like there are probably one or two pieces away from being like that defense. I think if you have an opportunity to go get a Cam Jordan who's still out there, or go get a Kyle Van Noy who's consistently good, I think that upgrades the defense right away. But I think the expectations are just different, right? We expect them to win, but we want them to see them win the division. We also want to see them make a legit run into the playoffs. I think for the Giants right now, if they don't play well, you can sell progress, right? But if they just have a hard fight, okay, they're young, there's still some things out there. But obviously right now, I think a lot is on from a national standpoint, it's the Cowboys.
The Giants want to win now.
Correct.
The Cowboys need to win now.
Yes, sir.
Right? Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott's age, George Pickens on the franchise tag. It does feel like the Cowboys are more all in than the Giants. But the Giants, man, we both live here.
Right.
A lot of expectation on them this year. With Harbaugh, with Dart, with all the talent that they have on defense, with getting Neighbors back. I don't think Giants fans are going into this season thinking well, if we just win 7 games and show a little bit of progress, like both of these fan bases have very high expectations for their football team.
Without a doubt, but I also think, listen, I don't know if there's such a thing, but if there was such thing as a head coach winning the offseason, I would give it to John Harbaugh thus far.
Sure.
Because of how he's handled himself in a media market that looks for fires, right? The issue with Malik Neighbors, he put that aside. No, me and Malik is on the same page. We showed him what we're trying to do with Alvaro Reese. We're good here. You talk about as far as how he's been able to really go into this offseason saying, hey, man, we want to play a brand of football that I'm used to in Baltimore. And by the way, that's been kind of the core principle of this team, having a good defense with an offense that can run the ball. So I expect the Baltimore Ravens, I expect the New York Giants to be different, but I don't expect them to be better than the Dallas Cowboys.
I want to show you something, and you tell me whether it was a team that always had your number or if you always had another team's number. The Giants have been owned by the Cowboys early. They basically play in week 1 50% of the time.
Okay.
I think it's like 8 of the last 15 years. And Dallas is 7-1 in week 1, and the games are blowouts. And in the last 3, it's 94-20 Dallas. It's just they play early and Dallas routs them.
Yep.
Now, it's not all the same coaches. It's not all like Jackson Dart, not a part of all of that. Obviously, right. Dak's been a part of plenty of it. But does that matter? Does the history of one team owning another matter?
If you let it, right? I think you go into every season feeling like no matter what happened last season or whatever the history is, this game up is the most important game, and you plan to be productive. I think right now for the Cowboys, you want to make a hard stance in the division that you're a different team and you're coming for the title. And I think you start with the New York Giants because for them, they feel like they have a lot of cachet right now, right? You got the coach, you got the young quarterback, you got a defense, even though you lost Dexter Lawrence, but you got DJ Reader. They feel like, man, because of their pass rush ability, they can make hell for Dak Prescott. So it's important for the Cowboys to come out hot.
Yeah, and I would just say from the Giants standpoint, they look at that and they're like, you want to measure improvement? This team has destroyed us.
Sure.
Now, even if they're competitive in a loss, they could sell that it was progress, much less if they actually figure out a way to win the game.
We just don't want to see no spinning, right? No spinning for the opener. Can we just?
That would be nice. Like start the season a little bit more with a little bit more normalcy. Let's move on to Thanksgiving Day. Fox just announcing the Cowboys will host the Eagles 4:30. I'm sensing a theme with the big games for the networks. Cowboys still draw a lot of eyeballs. Willie, who do you trust more this season, Jalen Hurts or Dak Prescott?
Man, I'm going to say Dak.
That's the only answer, sir. The question is, can Jalen Hurts prove us wrong, right?
Without a doubt. And I think right now with A.J. Brown potentially leaving the building, the question right now is can Dak Prescott, with his price tag, elevate this offense with a new offensive coordinator? Now, he's been playing speed dating with OCs for pretty much his whole NFL career. But now with Sean Mannion and what they've been able to acquire and with their receiving core, we expect Dak to just be better, right? And so hopefully we see it. But Dak's been more consistent, more flashy. He's just been more the complete quarterback.
Dak has turned himself into where there is now an expectation. Like, if Dak is healthy, I expect Dallas to have a top 5 passing offense.
Without a doubt.
Right? He has been great with Pickens and with CeeDee Lamb, the investments they've made on their offensive line, the running game they found last year. Like, I expect – now, there's a lot of teams that think they will be in contention for a top 5 offense. Cincinnati, my Bears, the Jaguars, with plenty of teams. But Dallas absolutely believes that they can be the best offense in football this year. And in Philly, we've seen them be the best offense in football just a couple of years ago, but it wasn't because of Jalen Hurts. It was because of Saquon Barkley. Yeah. And I know you pushed back against that at the time, but now A.J. Brown, he's going to be traded. Yeah. They're kind of transitioning with what they're doing with the pass catchers. It's another new offensive coordinator, like you said. Like, if Jalen Hurts is excellent and the Philly offense is excellent this year, it will at least be somewhat surprising.
But we want to see Jalen Hurts do the things that people say he can't do, like throw in the middle of the field, right?
Sure.
Have better production that way. We want to see this offense on time with the football and in rhythm. We want to see more of their weapons come alive. You have Goddard back. You want to see more of an impact out of him. And it starts with Jalen Hurts. So, yeah, I think for Jalen right now, it's one thing to prove the naysayers wrong, but you have an obligation right now because you're supposed to be the franchise quarterback to win games solely because you're that good at the position. That's what we need to see more of.
Because I think it's a settled debate that Dak is a better passer than Jalen Hurts.
Sure.
Jalen Hurts obviously has the better trophy case. He's a Super Bowl MVP. He's been there. but it is a spot where I'm not positive that Jalen Hurts is the quarterback of the Eagles 2 years from now. I'm not positive.
Well, this is why this year is important.
Correct.
He's going to have to prove that.
Right. Like if the question was who has more pressure on them this season, it's Jalen Hurts. Like there's a wide variety of outcomes here for Jalen Hurts. The Eagles are so good, and he has at times been so good that he could win the Super Bowl and win another Super Bowl MVP.
There's been so much reluctancy about what Jalen's not willing to do. Now there's reports, now he's willing to get under center. Right? Like, well, you should have been willing to get under center, period. Whatever's best for the offense, that's what you need to do. Because I'm a firm believer, like the system shouldn't protect the quarterback has to protect the system. And if that's—
Explain the difference.
Well, the difference is if we got to do things and construct things to make sure to kind of master deficiencies, that doesn't help us. When you look at Justin Herbert right now, what he did with that offense, he could do everything. He carried that offense, right? Valid, no offense line, limited pieces. But because of his natural ability, his God-gifted ability to carry an offense, he made that offense a playoff offense, right? So that's the difference. I just want to see Jalen take the next step, and he's going to have no choice this year because I think if he doesn't get it done, they're going to be shopping for a quarterback.
Right, and that'll be one of the most desirable and biggest stories because you go in, defense, the rest of the pieces on offense, great GM, good organization. Everyone's going to be lining up to be the quarterback of the Eagles, and that'll be one of the biggest stories going. But then, of course, there's the Cowboys, man.
Oh, boy.
I'm just saying.
Oh, boy. Here we go. It starts already.
It's Jerry. We're going to have a quiet Cowboys offseason? I don't believe it. There's drama coming somewhere, but if we can get from here to there and it's just about football.
You know the drama is George Pickens not showing up to training.
But he signed the franchise tag.
But we understand that.
I get it.
We know how this works.
I get
You sign
it.
to make happy, but you don't have to.
There's a world where Dallas has a seamless season and then actually looks good on the field, and it's going to blow all of our minds. Are they being normal in Dallas?
We'll see.
Welcome back to First Things First. We're starting with the Knicks, who completed their sweep of the Sixers in Philly. Josh Hart spoke after the sweep, what it means to do it in enemy territory, and he knows a thing or two about Philadelphia. Take a listen.
When you're able to take over a quote-unquote sports town, that gives you guys so much confidence. Everybody was begging for Philly to not sell the tickets and all that stuff. So, man, I used to think Philly was a sports town. I don't know if it is anymore.
Man, from Villanova with shots fired. Joining us now, longtime NBA sports writer Frank Isola with us on the OT. All right, Frank, you cover the Knicks. You follow them closely. What's your biggest takeaway from this sweep?
That the Knicks have been the most dominant team really ever since they fell behind 2-1 to the Atlanta Hawks. And I think the Knicks, if you look at them, Danny, they're the most talented team in the Eastern Conference. I think during the regular season, whatever it was, Karl-Anthony Towns got off to a slow start. I think there was some bickering among the players. You have a new head coach there. But I think they were about a 60 to 65 win team. They're hitting their stride at the perfect time at the season. And look at the East. Boston is not as good as they were last year. We know that Indiana wasn't going to be as good, and Detroit got better because of Cade Cunningham, but they were a pretty good team last year, with Dennis Schroeder, Tim Hardaway Jr., Malik Beasley coming off the bench. So I'm not so sure that they're a 60-win team in a normal year where you don't have 10 teams trying to tank. So I think the Knicks have been the class of the Eastern Conference, and I think now that we're in the playoffs, we're finally starting to see it.
But what clicked? They were down 2-1 to the Hawks, and now they're on this historic run. OG has been great. Their defense is completely locked in. Brunson is Brunson. I am watching the games. I get it. But it's one thing to win, Frank. I put these graphics together earlier. It is pretty remarkable, and we can show them to you. They went from being down 2-1 to best point differential in NBA history through 2 rounds with the most 25-point wins through 2 rounds in NBA history, and all 4 of them have come in the last 6 games. It's one thing to click, and it's another thing to be one of the most dominant teams we've seen.
No, I think you're right, but I think if you also look at games 2 and 3 against Atlanta, they easily could have won those games.
Yeah,
those were last possession games, so they're in those games. I just don't think Atlanta is They're kind of weak. They're inexperienced. And I think Philadelphia's even weaker after going through that 7-game series. But again, you talked about OG Anunoby. Before he got hurt, he was playing at a superstar level. Jalen Brunson always wins. So I'm not worried about him come playoff time. And I think Karl Anthony Towns elevated his play. And then they made an adjustment, Danny. If you go back to when they were playing Atlanta, that Jalen Brunson guarding CJ McCollum a lot. I think they were able to hide Jalen Brunson a lot better in the last few games of that series. They figured out what they needed to do against CJ McCollum. Atlanta had their chance if they had played a lot better in Game 4. That was their opportunity. And really for Philadelphia, their opportunity was Game 2. And that was the game that Joel Embiid didn't play in. And the Knicks did all the right things. Philadelphia, imploded offensively in that fourth quarter of Game 2. And the Knicks were just too dominant in Philadelphia, which for them, it's like a home away from home. They've always played pretty well down there. You know that they're going to get a good following, which, of course, they did on Friday and Sunday.
So, James Dolan goes on the radio and expects to, be in the finals and thinks they can win the championship. Actions speak louder than words. They fire Tibbs last year after making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now they're back. You just said they're the most talented team in the East. They will be expected to make it to the NBA Finals. What happens if they don't?
Well, I think it would be a major disappointment because I think if you look every year over the past couple of seasons, they were progressing toward this. And I think last year they would have made it if that freak occurrence didn't happen in Game 1 against Indiana. That series was really close. Game 1 changed everything. The Halliburton shot, the Knicks really never recovered from that. And I think now, if they were to play Detroit, let's remember they will have to start on the road. If they were to play Cleveland, a team that they beat a couple of years ago in the playoffs, even though Detroit is the higher seed, I think the Knicks would be favored going in. I think it'd be a major disappointment, but I think the Knicks, and rightfully so, because they are the better team in the East. But if they were to lose, I think the mistake that they would make is the same mistake that they made last year. I think they were too rash in their decision to get rid of the head coach who was helping them along this way. And I think Mike Brown has done a good job, a lot of pressure on him. And I think they kind of went back to doing a lot of the same things they did last year. And you could tell that Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart have a lot of say on what goes on. They're two of the smarter players on the team. I think they're two players that everyone looks up to. Again, I just think for the Knicks, things are clicking at the right time. You go to Game 6 of a conference finals. I think it takes a lot to go through navigate through a regular season. They started over in the Middle East. They did a lot of traveling this year. They had a lot of time at the end of the season at home. And I think that kind of helped them heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, as someone who was pretty skeptical of them and critical at times, I would just say also, even if it doesn't work and they get upset, this stretch of play has represented a ceiling for this Knicks team. I agree. Before the playoffs, I was like, if they don't make it, they're going to probably have to blow something up. This ceiling that they have, seriously, but like this ceiling that they have shown, it's like, okay, this is a championship caliber team, even if I think they would lose to the Thunder. It represents much more of a belief for me anyway in the core. Let's talk in the Western Conference Finals here. Speaking of sweeps, LeBron and the Lakers on the verge of getting swept. Game 4 tonight. They are now a 12.5 point underdog to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Here is head coach J.J. Redick on the daunting task ahead for the Lakers.
The MVP is, 18, 22, 7 of 20 tonight, and they've kicked our ass 3 straight games. They're an incredible basketball team.
That they are. So we can talk game, but also there's a lot of big picture ramifications here for LeBron and the Lakers. And then if it's LeBron, it's the league at large. Do you think this is LeBron's last game as a Laker?
I don't think it is. I think he's played really well under the circumstances. I laugh when people start talking about that he's being now criticized if they were to get swept. I mean, give me a break. Yeah, the guy's 41 years old. Their best player is Luka Doncic. He hasn't played since April 2nd. How do you expect to beat the defending champs? DeAndre Ayton hasn't played well. Austin Reeves came back from an injury. He's been kind of up and down. So I would think if I'm the Lakers, do you need to get better? Absolutely. In the Western Conference where you have Oklahoma City and you have the San Antonio Spurs, and obviously Minnesota is a quality team along with Denver. So there's a lot of good teams there, and they're going to keep getting better. The Lakers know that they need to upgrade a little bit. For me, LeBron is not part of the problem. He could be part of the solution, but the biggest issue, Danny, and you know this, it's hard to win when you don't have an MVP caliber player like Luka Doncic even playing. If he were out there, there's a good chance that they're still not going to beat Oklahoma City. So I think if I'm the Lakers, why wouldn't you want LeBron back? And if I'm LeBron, I think he's happy in LA. Now, will they want him to take a bit of a discount? How will he react to that? Once the finances start factoring in, then things can certainly change. But if I'm the Lakers, and I know I might only get LeBron, let's face it, now he's probably between 55 and maybe 70 games, probably more like 55 to 65. I got to live with that. But I'm okay with him being my third best player on some nights, my second best player. I know occasionally he'll be your first. The problem is they went into this playoffs needing him to be their best player. We got to cut the guy a little slack here. He is 41, and he is going up against a great Oklahoma City team.
Yeah, I think any criticism of LeBron is just for people who are born to criticize LeBron.
Exactly.
The basketball side of it is one thing, because he's been great, and we can grade it on a curve for a 41-year-old, or we cannot, and he still is just amazing. I think the thing that you said there, and maybe you would say this is simplistic or reductive, but like, happy. His kid's on the team. His kid, maybe LeBron is going to want to go be a bigger piece, and he doesn't like deferring to Luka. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he would say, I want to go east and go to Cleveland and be the missing piece and do the homecoming thing again. Like, maybe. I don't think New York is going to be the draw for him. Okay, maybe he has fun playing with Steph in the Olympics and he wants to do that. But I get the sense that he's pretty happy and that this is all just icing on the cake. And he gets to play with his son in games that matter, close to home and close to the rest of his family. My gut tells me that LeBron is going to be willing to take a pay cut if the Lakers need that to try to field a more competitive team and stay close to home.
I mean, it is the Lakers, storied franchise. He's in a place where he has a lot of business interest, and to your point, his son is on the team. So, at 41 years old, does he want to go back across the country? Like you said, I get it. Cleveland is essentially home for him as well. Does he want to go play in New York? Would he want to go someplace in Texas and play just to chase a championship? At this point, listen, for me, the guy's legacy is cemented. There are some people that are going to say he's the greatest of all time. I'm from a generation, I think it's Michael Jordan, but does it even matter? The guy is in the conversation of greatest of all time. Stay in L.A., see if you could. First of all, you got to get Luka healthy, and hopefully with that hamstring, he is healthy. Can they upgrade the roster? Maybe things fall into place. Can you imagine if he goes out next year and they make it to a finals as a 42-year-old? You talk about a nice little feather in his cap. So I think you're right, Danny. I think you hit on something as well. At some point, it has to be, where are you happy? As a young daughter, does he really just want to go across the country just so a couple of people on Twitter could say, oh, look, LeBron's got more championships than Steph Curry, and he's right on Jordan's heels. Yes, he is the greatest of all time. Is it really worth it at this point? If you're happy in L.A., it's the Lakers. Just stay there.
And I follow LeBron on Instagram. The most relatable thing ever about LeBron, he got the golf bug. The guy's playing golf during the playoffs. There is better golf in LA than Cleveland, I guarantee.
Well, I know that little Tony area that you live in has some nice golf courses. The problem is you can't play in December, January, February, March. It's too darn cold.
Exactly. He's staying out west. Frank, thank you so much. Coming up, we have another game tonight where you will stick with us to talk Cavs. You didn't think they gave him any shot in the East. I still have the Cavs winning it. We'll discuss. Welcome back. Frank Isola sticking with us to talk a little Cavs. Game 4 tonight. Cavs hosting the Pistons, 3.5-point home favorites. They won Game 3, down 2-1 in the series. Cavs, the entire postseason, have not lost a game at home. Frank, you think they keep the undefeated at home streak alive and tie the series at 2?
Well, I think what happened in the last game, those 3 straight turnovers from Cade Cunningham, I thought that was shocking by him. And Detroit did have 17 offensive rebounds. I'm happy for James Harden. He was getting a lot of criticism, rightfully so, from everybody, myself included. And I liked that trade when Cleveland made the trade.
So did I.
I was because, listen, Darius Garland's terrific, but he's a little undersized. He's hurt all the time. So it was good to see Harden bounce back like that. But there's just something about Detroit. Detroit had them on the ropes. Detroit should have closed that out. I was a little surprised by Cade Cunningham, a great player. Love the guy as a player. But those 3 turnovers, those 3 straight turnovers, he's got to be better than that.
Yeah, Cleveland had the big lead, then blew it, then they figured out a way to close it at home. I still think they just haven't played that much together. I still think Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, this version of Donovan Mitchell, like the 35-point version of Donovan Mitchell, and James Harden represents a very high ceiling for the Cavs. So I think the series gets tied up 2-2. I don't think we've seen the best from Cleveland yet.
Yeah, and I think we got to see. It's funny that Max Strus and Dennis Schroeder seem to be like the leaders and the physical and vocal leaders of that team. I hope Cleveland ties it up. We got to get some close series here.
Yeah, and it would be good for the Knicks to get all that rest with those other teams out east going longer. Thank you, Frank Isola. We appreciate you joining us. Everyone enjoy the games tonight. We'll be back tomorrow on First Things First.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did you have to fight a dragon?
Nope, she bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.